Compared to Goodell right there. That is pretty crazy.
Can single-handedly collapse a pocket, it looks like.
Yeah, all right, well, New Orleans pick is in, so let's make our predictions real quick. Carl, what do you think?
I think it's got to be Devontae Parker. Devontae Parker, I mean, they were looking wide receiver already. They've got to be very happy with that, having him drop.
All right, Miles, what do you think?
I'll say the same.
Chris, are you gonna keep with the trend?
I think they could go Bud Dupree too, but I'll say they go with Parker.
Chris, are you gonna keep the trend of wide receiver here?
Yeah, probably. I think they should go with Devontae Parker. You know, Brandon Cooks is a great slot receiver. Kenny Stills and Devontae Parker can both mid-range / deep threats. I think that they would complement each other nicely.
Yeah, for the sake of my mock draft and getting some points out of this, I'm gonna also go Devontae Parker. I also think it's the right pick here. I think Parker is the way to go. I think you need to get another weapon for Breeze. So Parker to New Orleans. Sam, what do you think?
Yeah, actually, I agree with. I'm going to go with Peters. While I do agree with you guys about Parker, I think he's a good pick. I think the Saints also need another corner, and yeah, either way. But they did lose Stills actually to the Dolphins, so I would not be surprised.
All right, well. Wow. Okay, so we've gotten a couple of surprises so far. It's gotten pretty shaken up. I think we've gotten to that point where we're in the territory where from now on the picks are kind of really hard to call now because I mean, at this point you've got so many players that I think may have moved up boards. Some players may have moved down. I mean, Devontae Parker dropping this far. I think there was a point where people thought he wouldn't even get past St. Louis if he was there. So, I don't know. This is getting pretty exciting. I think we had the shakeup, and right now just waiting on New Orleans pick. But let's take a quick commercial break because we haven't done one of those in a while, and we will be right back.
Kicking it. What are we kicking? A soccer ball. That's right. Infinity Sports Network now has its very own soccer show. Hosted by none other than Jake Leiker, Byron Tolson, and Noah Taborda. We bring you all the latest news on and off the pitch in the soccer world, whether it be the international or club level. Like us on Facebook at Kicking It. And don't forget to tune in once a week on Spreaker.com/Infinity Sports Network. Listen to us there.
All right, and we are back. New Orleans still yet to make their pick. Just to recap on what we've had so far in the NFL draft. The first pick, of course, Jameis Winston. Second pick, Marcus Mariota. Third, the Jaguars selected Dante Fowler Jr. Amari Cooper to the Raiders. Fifth, Brandon Sheriff, and a bit of a surprise, to Washington. And then sixth, Leonard Williams, and another surprise to the Jets, giving them what should be a formidable defensive line. Kevin White headed to the Bears. And Vic Beasley headed to Atlanta. Eric Flowers to the Giants. Gurley and what may prove to be the biggest surprise of this draft to the Rams. Trey Waynes to the Vikings. And then with the last pick just now, we had Danny Shelton to the Browns. And now we're just waiting on the Saints. And this is I don't know. Does this just feel like the longest time I've had... This pick is in so far has felt like one of the longer pick is in so far.
I think it has been.
I think they're setting records. They were picking in before the commercial break, I thought.
Yeah, it was. It's been
crazy.
All right, maybe they just decided they're just gonna decide, nah, let's not draft. Well, wait, here we go. Goodell is finally out.
With the 13th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Andres P.
Make it stop.
And the Parker freefall continues.
Make it stop. Make it stop. Oh
wow.
My God.
Andrews.
See, now that I think about it,
Devontae Parker might never get selected.
I feel like
go to the second round.
I feel like there's a bunch of NFL insiders who knew all these things about him or something. Like, something came out, but they all kept him, like, fairly low-key.
I know he's a great player. And he's got the measurables. But Wow! Above Bud Dupree. Above Devontae Parker. Heck, even above Brashad Perryman. Wow.
Was the Saints' offensive line really that bad? I don't remember them being one of the worst in the league. Like, that's what to draft an offensive lineman with their first pick when you have other gaping holes.
I don't know what to say.
I don't like that. I don't like that pick at all. It just doesn't. I mean, they were a bad team last year, but it clearly, I don't think it was offensive line. It was.
I don't either.
I mean, honestly, if you want to go somewhere other than wide receiver, why aren't you going and picking Bud Dupree?
I've got to say now, Miami, I know they need a cornerback, but I've got to say, I mean, given the fact that how this draft is going now, for all we know, they're taking a kicker right now, but I would lean Devontae Parker. I mean, he's still dropping. The 49ers now in a position where they could end up getting Bud Dupree, and that would be a great pickup for a team that, though they are comfortable with what they have at outside linebacker, they could still improve. Oh, but this pick. I mean, Pete's a guy who's gone up and then down and now way back up again. I barely had him pushing into my first round, so that is a bit of a surprise. But, wow. I am at a loss for words. I am at a loss for words.
Wow. Bud Dupree would have gone so nicely. They just got Darnell Ellerbe in that trade with the Dolphins. They would have gone great in tandem. That's huge missed opportunity for them.
I just feel like it just...
And
he's a good player, all right, but
yeah.
I just feel like it's an overdraft. It's not a need.
Look, I think that he could turn out to be a great offensive tackle. And I think he you know what? He could end up being one of the best players, maybe the top 5 players in this draft for all we know. But I still think that they would get more out of drafting another position, even if he doesn't turn out to be as good as Pete, because I think it may be a bigger need.
I think this is more about the opportunities the Saints missed than the guy they picked. Because even if the guy they picked is good, I think getting Dupree or Parker would have ended up better.
Oh, wow. Well, that brings us to Miami. I don't know what Miami can do that can possibly give us as much of a shock factor right now. But...
I mean, Miami must be, really... Miami's sitting here, all these later teams are really thinking about how lucky they are, because it just feels like everyone's dropping to them. I think it's going to be one of the better available players. It could be...
I don't know if you guys saw that, but
I want to say Devontae. I want to say Devontae, but I feel like I've said Devontae so many times now, it's, not even worth saying.
I don't know if you just saw that, but
I'm with you on that.
They haven't taken a cornerback in a really long time, and I had them going wide receiver. I think they're gonna go. I think they're gonna go cornerback here or wide receiver here. I think they're going to go Devontae Parker. But
could Marcus Peters be here?
No, we all know the pick here, guys. It's clearly going to be Lyle Collins. The way this draft is going, either Lyle Collins, Shane Ray, or Randy Gregory will be the pick. It's been decided based on this draft.
You never know. Watch it be Gregory. They're all like, the issues aren't that bad.
You guys, I mean, if you could see my face, everybody out there, I don't know what to say. I mean, we've seen surprises before in the draft. Oh my God. The Bulls won 120-66, by the way. We've seen surprises. We've seen surprises in the draft before. It's not like any of that, but a running back top 10, Sheriff going that early, an offensive guard going that early.
And
then
no
Andres
trades
Pete.
yet. No trades.
Then Pete going, no trades. Oh, man. Oh, man. All right. Miami here, though. Let's make our official picks as they're going down to the wire. Maybe they could be trading back. You don't know. Miami could trade back. I mean, the 45 seconds left.
I mean, there's got to be a couple teams that want to trade up now that there is these great players available at such a low.
Miami's pick is in.
Seemingly low
Just
cost.
as I say there could be a trade, Miami's pick is in. Carl, what do you got here for the Dolphins?
I'm going to say Devontae Parker just because I feel like if I don't say Devontae Parker, they're going to pick Devontae Parker. That's how it's going to go.
But if you do say it, they won't pick him.
Well, you know what? That's fine. I'll keep doing this until the second round when the Vikings get Devontae Parker in the second round.
Oh, good strategy.
I'm going to go...
I mean, I've been seeing mock drafts where 5 wide receivers are off the board at this point.
Look,
4 or 5.
I think long snapper out of the variety, Jake Liker is the pick here. And if they decide to go elsewhere, Devontae Parker. Chris, what do you think?
Yeah, the Dolphins, they seem to have an offensive line issue. And when the Saints picked Andreas Pete, I think that's a shot in the foot for the Dolphins. So I saw DJ Humphries is available. I saw that guy at Texas A&M is available. I think they should be thinking one of those guys, or, of course, the goat in the room, Devontae Parker, the elephant in the room, excuse me.
Goat in the room.
The GOAT.
The goat in the room. Devontae Parker's a goat.
But I feel like Devontae Parker has been the best player left on the board since, like, pick 8, 9. Like, he's just been sitting there for so long. I think picking him.
Here's some
I
interesting
think they
stats.
do have to make up for the loss of Mike Wallace. They should get Parker. Like,
here's some interesting stats,
they
guys.
should get him.
First of all, Andreas Pete was 5th in this tackle class in terms of blocking efficiency. So he wasn't even and this is in terms of tackle. Remember, it depends on who's rating them. A lot of people don't have Sheriff, but even if they do put him at tackle, that means getting picked this high may have been a reach. He also surrendered 9 pressures against at Stanford and had a 2-sack game, which he gave up versus Nate Orchard. So he has his issues. I don't really know.
I really don't like that.
I
think that right now, I think that is the worst. Like, I think Lewis probably made the riskiest pick. I think that New Orleans made the worst pick so far at this round.
I would agree. And I think a lot of other teams are just salivating because tons of players are dropping off the board because of this. And tons of players are just going to keep staying on the board. I mean, you're pushing people back now, and that's a great area to be in. All right,
I got to say something.
Yes.
Overall teams. Like, you can say the Vikings are a bad team, whatever. Basically, all players look good when they put, like, the Vikings, like, jerseys and just it's like, when a player goes to the Jaguars, you see them, like, mocked up in the uniforms, and you're just like, you look terrible in the Jaguars uniform. I feel like players look good in Vikings uniforms. And, like, Vikings hats and things like that. Like, I'm looking at a picture of Trey Waynes in a Vikings hat. I'm like, yeah, you look good with that.
They have good colors.
The purple is a solid color.
Purple's a nice, like, diversion from all the regular.
Oh my God, guys!
blue,
San Diego's just traded
whatever.
up. San Diego has traded up. Look on ESPN to the left of Miami. It says San Diego is next. San Diego has made a trade. We have a trade. Carl, you're muted. You're muted,
Unless
buddy.
it's a graphic error, they traded with San Francisco.
I think they traded. I'm going to look it up right now. I'm going to look it up on Twitter right now. But thank God. I mean, a graphic error. Pick is in, by the way.
The 14th pick in the 2015 NFL Draft, the Miami Dolphins select Devontae Parker.
There it goes.
Carl, your strategy didn't work.
Devontae Parker.
Devontae Parker finally goes, and wow, the Dolphins have got to be so
49ers
happy right now.
and Chargers have made the trade. And I think the way we just saw with Gurley going out early, I think there's a real possibility now that the Chargers are going to take Gordon right here to make sure they make sure they get their guy.
I think Melvin Gordon would definitely be the pick here. I think that San Francisco thinks they can pick up. I think San Francisco thinks Armstead's their guy.
Well, also, I think they might be able to. I think they might be thinking they could get Bud Dupree too at that point because I don't think Houston will necessarily go after an outside linebacker.
I mean, are they thinking Houston doesn't though? Houston could be taking Bud too.
I think Houston might take Armstead actually.
I don't know. We'll see.
By the way, we do have Goodell at the podium explaining the trade and all that stuff. But we got to trade, guys. We got to trade.
Do we know the picks yet?
Here we are, 17th. So the Chargers are going to get the 15th. The Niners will get the 17th overall pick. They will get a 4th round pick of this year and a 5th round pick last year. That is quite a bit to move up. That is quite a bit.
All right, I'm back. Just in time for the first trade of the draft.
And San Diego's pick is in, by the way.
I mean, it's a couple of spots. It's a 4th and a 5th. I think this is a good trade. Mm-hmm. We'll see what the pick is from the Chargers.
Well, the pick is
overall,
in.
Overall, I think it's a fairly cheap. I think it's cheap.
They're getting Melvin Gordon.
I would say they're getting Melvin Gordon as well. Are we all in agreement with Melvin Gordon here?
But would Melvin Gordon have gone to Houston? Were they that worried that Melvin Gordon was going to Houston?
Because of the fact how this draft has been going and the fact that Gurley went a little bit higher, I think they might be a little bit worried about letting him slide farther.
I think that's obvious. Yeah, you bring up a good point about Houston trying to get why am I losing him? Gordon, because he'd be a great complement to Arian Foster's kind of in the middle power style. So I think San Diego is concerned seeing how